Hello everyone and welcome back to BviPilots. I am your host John once again. I hope everybody is doing good today, wherever you might be in this wonderful world of ours. And I'd like to welcome any of you that might be into the flying and all that stuff. We welcome you here at BviPilots. You're always free to join us at any time. And again, before we get started, if you look down below in the description, you're going to find a link to our Twitter. You're also going to find another link that has our email address, which is BviPilots, BviPodcast, I believe. Anyway, it's down below in the description. You can get the email down there. Email us. You got questions you'd like to come on the show, or maybe you got a video you'd like to share. We'd be glad to, allow you to be a part of what we do here. So right now I got a couple things going on. I've got my Cessna sitting on the runway here in Indianapolis, and I've also, which I've yet taken off, and I'm also talking to one of our BVI pilots as well, Mr. Brandon Armstrong. Brandon, how you doing?
Doing good. Just trying to survive the heat. That's all.
Yeah, I hear you. What is the temperature down there in good old Texas today?
It was about 97 today, and I think we're down into the 80s right now. I haven't checked the weather lately, but it was pretty hot today.
Yeah, that is pretty warm.
Yeah,
it was decent here today, probably in the upper 80s, I'd say. So it's, I'll take the summer anyways over top of the winter anytime.
Hell, if you want good winters, move down here. We don't ever have snow.
I don't know if I'd say you don't ever have it, because I recall.
Well, okay, we have it, but it's very rare.
Yeah, I should say you might want to watch it there. Jinx yourself.
Yeah.
I know in the summer, you watch a lot of these pilots flying these smaller, like the Cessnas and Cherokees and stuff like that. And some of them do have air, and other ones don't. And you got to just bring in the air from outside. And boy, that could get pretty warm. I couldn't imagine being in a cockpit with no air at all.
I know.
And if it's 100 degrees out and the only air you got is, which I guess the higher up you get that cooler air once you get up further.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind, if you're going up 5,000 to 10,000 feet, your air is going to be a lot cooler than on the ground.
Yeah. This is true. I mean, even at 3,000 feet, it's going to be cooler than what it is down, at
exactly
500 feet or 1,000. So I guess that does help, because they can bring the air in like that to cool things down.
Yeah.
At least to make it comfortable as possible. Now, the jet that I'm flying, not jet, but the plane that I'm flying, actually is a pressurized cabin. It's got air, heat, it's got all that stuff. And it is the Cessna 340A, and this is more the business class type of plane, but I like it. One, it's got a lot of power. It's got the turbo injected engine, which really gives it, more power, better takeoff, better climb, better results, just all the way around. But don't get me wrong, I do like my Cherokee. I like to fly that around too. But there is a big difference in a Cherokee and one of these. In Cherokee, you've only got either a 2-seater or a 4-seater, and that's it. You don't got a big giant cockpit and all that stuff.
You were talking about it being hot a minute ago with jets and stuff. I was going to tell a story because you just reminded me of one that happened to me. Last year during the summer, as a matter of fact, around this, it was about June. It was at the end of June, early July last summer. So I was going on a trip to Erie, Pennsylvania, and made it to Chicago just fine because I flew out of Austin on a big jet, of course. So Erie is a small airport, so they can't get one of those big Airbuses or Boeing
Autopilot
737s in, so they have to fly regional jets.
Right.
So I was on a CRJ aircraft, and it was scheduled to depart. I believe it was at 2:40 in the afternoon. So I get on the aircraft. Pilot comes over the cabin PA system and says, "We're going to have to leave the doors open and start our jet with an air start unit because our APU, auxiliary power unit, isn't working." And we sat there for about 20 to 30 minutes waiting for them to get the engine started because it was, oh my God, that was the most miserable time I've had on an aircraft. It was so hot on that plane.
That'd be miserable.
It was so hot that the stewardesses were passing out water to everybody.
Yeah. And most of your airlines take care of their customers.
Yeah.
But I've seen some of your lower class, airlines, not so popular. They could care less either way.
Well, luckily this wasn't one of those. This was actually United Airlines, and
United's
they
a
took
good
really
one.
good care of us.
Delta's a good one. Delta really tried to take care of their customers, and I'll tell you what. So is I flew with Canada once. I don't know if that's the name or not. I might be saying it wrong, but they was really good too. I don't know what their
worst.
What is their airline called? It's not called Canada. It's called something else, I think. But
Canadian Express.
Canadian Express, maybe. They I flew on one of theirs before, and I mean, you're talking about some really good people. A quick story for you: the first time that I'd ever flew in a plane at all was, it was a jet, but it only held maybe 80 people, something like that. So it was a smaller one, but they were so nice that I even ended up getting first class. There was a doctor that had a partner that was supposed to went with them, and they didn't show. And the doctor, I'm getting on the plane, and the flight attendant trying to figure out the best, spot for me, even though my seat said one thing. She didn't like where the seat was because it was in the very back. In the very back.
I've had that.
And she's like, "I don't want to put you all the way back there because there's no room and people coming back and forth." She's like, "I really don't want to do that." And the doctor's like, "Well, what's your name, young man?" I said, "Johnny." He said, "How about first class on me tonight? How's that sound?" And I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, that'd be amazing. And the flight attendant was like, "Sir, are you sure?" And he was like, "I'm positive." She said, "Okay." She said, "Yeah." She said, "I was going to try to fit him in here if I could anyways." And so I ended up getting a dinner on the plane, and they really take care of you in first class.
Literally, I gotta say,
they'll put the table down for you. They'll put your plate down.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, once you get up to cruising altitude is when they start serving food.
Yep. I gotta say, though, in all the experiences I've had, I absolutely love flying. Even though I do it in sim, I love doing it for real because when I get on aircraft, I have the most nicest crew and passengers every time I've done a flight. I've had crew help me to my seat. When we get up to cruise, I'll have passengers. Like if I have trouble opening something, they'll help me with that. And, they're really, really nice. And they all make sure that I'm situated and have everything I need. I've never had a bad experience in that regard.
Things are going to be different now. And I'll talk a little more on that here in a minute. But so with the pilot program that I'm using to fly with right now, I believe was it SFX? Am I pronouncing it right?
FSX Pilot.
Yeah, FSX Pilot. Did you know you can even create a flight plan right out of the program.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you know
you
that?
can. Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if I did it that way, would it take off right away? I'm guessing not. You create it and then you would hit run.
You'd still have to load and run it, yes.
Let's see what happens. Let's try it. Okay.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. Is when air travel does resume, when it gets back to full normal operations, yes, you're right. Things will be different. I'm thinking there's going to probably be more mask mandates for aircraft and airlines, which honestly I don't have a problem with. It's better to keep people safe.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to do it this way. Let's... Come on. Hold on, you guys. What are you doing? Okay. There we go. I'm not going to do it that way because for some reason... you also got to paste stuff in there. You got to paste like the route in and stuff. I don't want to do that. So,
yeah.
Will it? Now I don't have my brakes off or nothing. I'm not idled up or nothing. It does all that. I'm guessing. As soon as I hit run, when I hit load and run, it will. As soon as I hit enter on that flight plan, it'll undo my brakes, throttle up for me, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
Oh yeah, it will do everything.
All right. So I'm going to go to. Load flight plan, or load and run.
Load and run.
Okay. There it is. So when I hit enter here, you guys, what's going to happen is, the plane's going to take off and do what it's supposed to do. Here we go.
So, can you touch on
switching
a
to
little bit
true
more
heading
how
display
you were
for
saying
departure,
that things are
sir.
gonna be
Here it
different?
goes.
Flaps
Let's get up
1.
in the air.
Airline-wise.
Give me 1 second.
Landing, strobe, and NAV lights on. Climb rate
taking
set to
off with this program takes a lot
1,500
of
feet per minute.
concentration, so,
Here we
yeah,
go.
that's
Altitude
another
set
reason
to
I'm not a fan of it.
4,100 feet.
But for general aviation,
Speed
you
set
have
to
use it,
190
unfortunately.
knots. NAV on.
32 knots. 41. 50. 60. 67. 73. 80.
1.
B1.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Let's see.
Altitude set to 3,000 feet. AV on. Heading set to a true heading of 20 degrees. Altitude set to 11,000 feet. Next waypoint my selected.
I don't know why it took so long to get up off the ground.
Sometimes that happens.
I mean, it took forever.
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to do, guys, once it gets higher up, I'll uncheck the speed box. Right now it's checked. It's controlling it. I don't know. Do you usually uncheck your speed box right away, or do you wait?
Well, I don't normally uncheck that box.
Oh, you don't? You let it do what it... Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what... I hit this button the other day on accident. And I don't know what it did. Like my motor slowed down and everything. It's MCH.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the VE. I don't know what VE does neither. But okay, yep. I know what it was. For some reason it didn't check my altitude box like it should have, and that's why it was on the ground for so long.
Oh boy.
Now, guys, I could have just, took off without doing the flight plan. Took off, no flight plan, and we would have been up a lot quicker. But I wanted to see what it was going to do, and this should take us all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about right. We're at a heading of 185, so that'd be about straight south is a heading of 170. So we're going southwest-ish, southwest.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to our conversation about the airports and stuff.
Yeah. I was just explaining that we're probably going to see a lot more mask wearing requirements.
It's going to be mask, and it's also going to be, depending on who you fly with, you've got to submit paperwork if you have a guide dog, which I think is so stupid.
That's
so stupid.
Gonna be dumb. I see a lawsuit coming for that. I think people are going to not be very happy.
Delta does it, and American. There's a few of them that's doing it, and it's because
there's a lot of people that have been using fake. Josh.
Faking about,
service animals.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up?
So
we're doing a video actually. If you want to join us,
we've got another BVI pilot just joined in with us. You guys, Josh, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good.
But
speaking of BVI pilots, we got like 3 more BVI pilots like in our community in general.
Do we?
Yeah. Well, one is not new. I mean, he's the original OG blind pilot that started the whole thing, Scott Shade. We got him, coming back from the fold. We've got this guy Andy who is just learning about VATSIM. He just signed up. I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be interesting.
This is gonna be very interesting
because like he started flying like about a month ago, and like he's getting on and asking. Well, we're doing a video, so I don't want to like go too in depth, but he's asking very, very newbie-ish type questions that you really don't want to be asking on VATSIM itself.
Yeah,
So,
VetSim's
think-
not the spot you go to for being taught. You go there.
Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
you can go on
Let's
there and
be
practice,
honest.
and I'm not going to, throw this guy under the bus or nothing. But,
Well, I mean, there's a VATSIM type, like, he was wondering, like, why he was, like, VPilot was showing, like, there was a center at Toronto, but he wasn't hearing it because he wasn't in range, like, stuff like that. So it's not, like...
it's not real
Well,
bad.
but
then.
I was about to say, there's also, if they want to know about flying, there's also tutorials online for
Well, I mean,
VATSIM.
on VATSIM alone, there is bukus
There is bukus of stuff.
material.
I found
of it.
YouTube videos.
Aviation
VATSIM
Pro
tutorials.
is a good channel. For,
Yeah, Aviation Pro is a real good channel. Yep, absolutely.
That is a good channel.
Speaking of video, like, what is this video actually about? Like, we're just chatting.
we just decided
doing
to
a
do.
flight?
Well, I'm doing a flight, but we decided to just chat and talk about just
Okay.
different things.
We were
Speaking
talking
of, my
about the
shadow server
airlines.
came in today,
Oh, nice, man.
so I'll get to mess with that. I'll probably end up.
I
probably won't mess
will
with it
give
tonight.
you. I'm gonna have to give you an auto hockey script because, dude, they changed the. I guess resources are so limited with COVID, and people are like getting shadows like freaking. It's so like high demand that they had their resources being used so much that they had to change their auto shutdown to 30 minutes to 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
So like,
Wow.
me and Sarah are basically using an auto hockey script to basically make it so it doesn't
Okay.
shut off.
You know,
where do you put the script at? Just
You download auto hockey. I might put it up here. I'll put the auto hockey executable and the auto hockey script
and
up here. Right
what you just download it onto your regular computer and then.
No, you download it on your Shadow and you run it on your Shadow.
Oh, okay. So it's
while
like
you're
an
sitting.
executable or something.
Yeah, and you run this script and it runs every every 13 minutes or so. Presses like Control Shift or something to keep the Shadow running.
Very nice.
I gotta
Very
say,
nice.
so I was talking about environment sounds on the WhatsApp group today. I know there's a few that listen that are subscribed to this channel.
Did you get it today?
No, I haven't got it today, but it's amazing to me how when I clearly say what a program is and how to make sure everything is configured correctly, I have a few that either say, why do you want these sounds? Or I have one asking, what is this program? And if they would go back and listen to what I actually said, they would know what I'm talking about.
Well, here's the thing, and I was talking to Thomas about this last night because the manual clearly says that when you go into MDR, right, and you click on the square for EMV sound, because there's 3 add-ons you can install. There's M sound is the last square.
Yeah.
You go in there and you set your volumes and stuff like that. You center everything, which they are by default. So there's really no configuration necessary. But
Right.
there is an install square. Because like, I was looking like I was installing M Sound on my Shadow, and I installed the M Sound program, and then I installed MDR. The sounds did not go in the correct folders in the simulator until I clicked that install square when you click on M Sound. So there is an install square that you have to click on, where the MDR program will extract the sounds into the sound folder of the SIM.
Oh, okay. Is it in this? Is it in the?
It's after you install ENV sound, then MDR, which is what Toga Project uses for their add-on manager. That's the inaccessible part.
Ambient wind
Right.
is 0 knots
And,
from 5 degrees, sir.
You can click the install button when you click on you click on the M sound square, and then there's an install square in that little settings area.
Okay. So just basically make sure everything is centered, and then go click install.
Well,
Ira click install.
also make sure Ira sets, because I think that's accessible enough, but make sure that your simulator is prepared V4, because I think it defaults to V5. It assumes you have V5. So
When I go to the install.
when you go to when you go to MDir and install it, yeah.
Okay. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
The problem is, like, the MDir isn't too bad. The only problem is that I think that, like, NVIDIA will actually read the icons, but since their icons are like pictures,
You can't click on them.
you can't click on them because NVIDIA doesn't have, like, it'll read them, it'll read the labels, but there's nothing to click on under the labels.
Well, I mean, that's not a problem. I can
Yeah, I mean,
I can do all that.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably get the program tomorrow. I'm gonna give my verdict on it when I get it, but
It's good. I mean, once I got it working, I'm like, yeah, you know, this is nice. I mean, it's, you know, you'll hear some. Well, I mean, I was listening to it at Miami. I'm like,
Well, you know, like I said on WhatsApp, you know, and I'm not, you know, putting names out there or anything, you know, with, you know, Brandon making a point, which you didn't either, Brandon, but I'm just saying that so people know.
no, I didn't.
You do hear birds at the airport. I mean,
Yeah, you do.
You hear birds at the airport. You hear
traffic.
And this is
I
where
don't know why-
You definitely hear traffic. Definitely.
You
I don't
hear
know why
traffic,
somebody
you
told me
hear
that they didn't
planes
hear
going
birds at the
overhead.
airport. That just
There's a sound where you hear like planes and stuff overhead.
Josh, do you like flying the like prop planes and stuff? I got a good one that you don't got to do nothing special with it. You know,
Yeah,
other
the
than flying it with
Cessna340A.
the 340A. Yeah, it's really good, man. It is a really good plane.
Yeah.
The difference, and I didn't know this until I watched the video. The 340A is actually a pressurized, you know, cabin compared to, you know, this one. I didn't realize how high this can
Yeah, I
actually
think
go
you can go up to like 25,000 feet or something like that.
Yeah, 25,000. The actual height of it is what, 24 feet up, you know, from
I mean,
ground all the way up.
I don't know if
No,
like
8
something
actual.
like that.
No,
I don't know
it
if
was-
actual 340A pilots would go that high, but it can go that high. It'd probably go to like.
Yeah,
I would probably
'cause
go to like 15 to 16,000.
I watch a guy on YouTube, and he won't go no higher than 11,000. You know, 11, 12,000.
Oh, I mean that's because I mean if you're doing VFR rule, you can't go above 18,000. And 11,000. I mean, if you sighted, I mean you want to fly low, you want to see the treetops and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. Once you get up so high, you can't really see that stuff. And the 340 is actually a turbo injected
Turboprop.
engine. Yeah, turboprop. Now there's another channel that I watch. You guys should check it out. It's called 310. I believe the name of it. Really cool guy. He flies the Cessna 310, and really cool guy though. They fly everywhere. Him and his wife flies everywhere. They went to the Puddin Bay, and just a heads up to pilots out there, if you never flew out there, like when you go to land, there's a monument right there on the incoming. I mean, right, lined right up with the runway. When you go across the monument, you got to come down and land, like
I'd actually
instantly.
like to know what that monument is.
There's a lot of historical stuff over there too. Like they got an old hotel over there from years and years ago.
You guys
where-
on Batson? Who's right here in the background?
Oh no, I'm not on Batson. I'm listening
No.
to air traffic control on my Echo.
I'm actually working on a thing that my cousin's going to help me with, to where if somebody wants to play the sounds, they can put it in the sim and it'll run, like it'll do random.
You know what we really need?
sound.
You know what we really need a program to do?
I was
we
thinking
need
like a random, like some of the random cockpit noise you might hear, like the radio.
I mean that'd be cool, but I think we need something more urgent than that, and that is call it like FatLink, like an accessible a VAT spy, basically. Like, take a...
Yeah.
Oh, a way
Take-
to, yeah.
You
Yeah,
definitely
Yeah,
need
like-
something on that line. I totally agree with you on that, Josh.
maybe I can get him to put that on hold with the sound thing, because I know how to do that pretty much, almost, I think.
I mean,
I've been
the
reading
sound
a lot,
stuff is,
so I could do
the
that, and he
sounds-
could do this other thing.
the sound stuff is the sound stuff would be moot if we can get Jason's help with the PMGG stuff, because the PMGG and the payware stuff already has that stuff in spades.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to have, though, with the like a onboard type of way to look up other, like you said, like VAT Spy does. I'll talk to my cousin and see if he can do something with that.
Yeah, because we really don't have anything.
I don't
'cause
think-
it's so annoying.
With someone that knows how to program like him and even other programmers out there, I don't think it'd be that hard. To
No,
make that.
it really. Well, I mean, I could probably do it with Quorum. I'm just not versed in it well enough to be able to program a networking.
So I guess
utility
really
like
what
that.
you're doing is just getting information from like a network and making
You're
it.
getting you're using like a networking library to connect to the internet and fetch information.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, VAT Spy, all that information that it gets is from a specific server, right?
It's
Or is
from the
it-
server. Yeah, it's from the VAT.
Yeah,
Sim,
it gets it from the VATSIM server.
Yeah,
oh, so
VAT
it's
Sim
just reading
server,
the
so-
information from it and then relaying it back, pretty much.
Yep.
The problem is we can't use it now.
I mean, we
It's
can. I mean,
doable.
I've used
Yeah.
it, but it's. I mean,
It
I
is
don't like
kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, I can go in
Last
there
time
and
I
use
tried
it,
to
but
use it, I can't get to the search field anymore in the toolbar, and I used to be able to.
no, they didn't update it or anything, dude.
yeah, it's still there. You just gotta. You gotta
NVDA,
move, you
I
gotta move
think
around
they-
more on the screen, I think.
With
You
like
know.
with NVDA, 2019 4 or whatever, they switched to like how Object Nav relays that stuff. Like you have to search around more. I think I don't know if they 20 like point 2 just came out yesterday. So,
Yeah, I updated to it.
yeah. Hey, dude, you remember? I mean, I don't know if we. I mean, I remember him back in '05. He was pretty cool. He kind of annoyed me in his later years, but you know, Venison Stew, Venison 88.
Oh, that weird,
whatever.
crazy dude? Yes.
Yeah, he just died.
We have
one day.
4,023.9 pounds of
serious?
fuel left, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, he died
89.5% of
he died
total
a stroke,
capacity.
evidently.
Who did?
What the hell? This guy that used to be on TBRN, the
TBRN,
Radio Network. It was called Venison 88. He was weird back
He
then.
was, I mean, he was cool back in 05, 06, you know, I mean, he kind of got me into radio, but wanted me to do radio and stuff like that. But like,
Wow.
later on,
That's
he
too bad.
like, yeah, like he called me, like when I wasn't even listening to TBRN once, he called me like freaking wasted, man. He got wasted from those freaking shows.
What? That is too bad.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I kind of wonder if that's stroke, you know, alcoholism. You know, I wonder if this is.
Yeah, I think he had a drinking problem from what I heard.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. Yeah.
By the way, I did check out that haunted podcast, Haunted Places.
Oh, it's a
That
good
is a cool
podcast. Man.
podcast.
I also recommend checking out the dark side of, because they're doing basically everything that was bad in the '90s, like the stories
Indicated
with the music.
airspeed is
Did you know the
190
story
knots,
between
sir.
NSYNC and well, the band members called him Big Papa because he gave him everything. It was their record label boss, but like screwed them over out of money.
I'm not surprised.
which is
Dude,
why
crap like that
NSYNC,
happens all the time in the music industry anyway.
which is like why Justin Timberlake refuses to bring back NSYNC, because this guy still owns the rights to his music, so that's to their music. So basically, if NSYNC would have come back, they wouldn't get money anyway.
Dude, things like that happen in the record industry all the time. Look at what happened to Ray Charles back in the 60s.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
So that's not a surprise.
yeah. But I mean, I highly recommend listening to that one, because it's not just music. It's they did the East Coast West Coast rap episode.
Yeah, the rivalry.
They did food. Apparently, it was bad food in the '90s. The racial tensions.
Jeez. It was not bad. Okay, that whole thing with bad food in the 90s, no. I disagree with that.
Well, I mean, I didn't listen to that. All I see is, the '90s food. Like, I don't know what. I mean, it's basically like stories that are like bad. Like, not the food itself.
It's food I wish they would bring back, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, those pitas that Wendy used to have. Johnny might remember those.
What's that?
You remember those pitas that Wendy's used to serve back in the 90s that was on that flatbread? You had, like, the chicken and the Caesar dressing and stuff.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, my God, those were so good.
I thought you were saying they're like bringing them back or something.
I wish they would.
But yeah, dude, another podcast they do is serial killers, which Paul Simon is a part of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John
same
Wayne
guy.
Gacy. I could name you some. Kenneth McDuff.
Yeah.
Dude, you forget, I grew up in the 90s, so I remember all this stuff.
Alright, so we're going to speed
Well,
up
no,
a little bit
no,
here,
no,
guys.
I'm-
We're doing 190 knots. I'm going to speed up to about 220.
No, I'm
What's your
talking.
ETA?
You know, that's the thing. I loaded the flight plan, but it's not telling me. Is there a different way you're supposed to get it?
Did you load Talking Flight Monitor?
Yeah. And did I need to load the flight plan somewhere else too?
No, you don't
No,
load.
no.
Yeah, you don't load flight plans in a TFM. That's Tramp's job.
No, he's using FSX Pilot because he's flying a general aviation aircraft.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not giving me the time though.
now
By
that's
def-
because
by
I know why. Probably because FSX Pilot is in the way. If you hit Alt-F, you can hide that and go back into your prepare, and it should give you the time.
Yep, I've got it hid now.
yeah, you have to look at the time with Ideal Flight, because FSX Pilot's time thing is all fucked up.
Oh, I don't have Ideal Flight loaded because I loaded FSX Pilot.
Well, you could
And
still use
compare.
you could still use Ideal Flight.
Oh, you can.
You could still use Ideal Flight with FSX Pilot. I mean, like you could use Ideal Flight for literally every single flight.
Okay. I'll do it. 'Cause right now it's just giving me a default 19:00, and I know that's not the time.
Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's. I would recommend either creating a profile for like general aviation and having FSX Pilot launch when you're using that profile, or just have. Well, no, you don't
That's
want
a good
FSX Pilot
idea.
launching with other stuff.
Yeah, that's
So-
a good idea.
I really wish that program would get updated so it can do things properly, like
I
speed.
think it. See, I've not had no problem with speed. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna fly a regular jet. But here's the thing that I've learned about this. If you go in and configure all your settings for a jet, it'll do pretty decent. But if you don't go in there and configure that shit,
Well, it
Man,
depends on the it depends,
depends on the
plane,
jet
like,
too. Yeah, it really does.
If you can configure some for hours and it won't fly it right.
Well, like I configured the Max 10, and even after
Well, yeah,
configuring
that'll
it
be
for,
alright.
well, I mean, it really wasn't. I configured it for over, like, I went through all these settings, and that was when Scott was watching Brandon, and I come in for landing, and it just did a dive bomb, man. I couldn't control
Yeah.
it manually. Like, I'm trying to control the speed, couldn't do it.
Well, with FSX Pilot, what you have to do is you have to like manually descend to like a suitable altitude, like 5,000, 4,000 or something, then do the auto landing, because yeah, otherwise it's gonna go like 5,000 feet a minute and get you down there.
Oh, dude, it was when I
Yeah,
got to
it's
the
funny you
ground, I
mentioned
was at
that.
over 800 knots. And that
Yeah,
was
it's funny you
indicated.
It's
That
funny
wasn't
you
true.
mentioned that, because he called me right after that. He's like, John just crashed his plane. I was like, how the heck did he do that?
Well, it
He's
was
like, "Oh,
actually,
he's an
it
FSX
was,
pilot."
the reason I did it was proving a point to some that said that, you know, you could fly them on there with no problem. And
I just don't
So I
understand
wanted
why some
to
of these people are
prove
so
to people that if
delusional.
you don't set things up the right way, you're not going to just take off with the plane. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's
No.
not going to fucking happen.
Not
It's
gonna
just not
happen.
going to happen, no. But, yeah, now we're going 224 knots, which is where I wanted to be. With the speed checked, it only had it going at 190, but this gets there a little bit faster.
I'm actually looking for some more historical audio.
We ain't got too much
drama
further to go. I'm in
podcasts.
Kentucky now, so and we're just going to
Yeah,
Atlanta, Georgia.
I'll have to look for some.
Valley Station, Kentucky, you guys. That's where we're at.
Oh, nice.
Where are you headed to?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, from Indianapolis to Atlanta. I'm guessing maybe another. Tennessee. Maybe an hour. Maybe a little less.
What
It's
if
hard
this
for me
air
to
traffic
estimate
control
this
is
one.
actual ATC, or is it VASIM stuff?
It's probably what skill are you using?
Air traffic control on the Echo?
That's probably live ATC.
Because I just heard him say frequency change approved, so I'm wondering if it's VASIM.
No, that's probably that's real. I think that's a real phraseology thing. That's a VFR phraseology, like when you're
Yeah, I don't
on
know
flight
what that.
following.
I don't know what MCH stands for. When I hit that the
Mach.
other day.
That's Mach.
Mach.
Oh, is that Mach? Okay.
Yeah.
LVL level.
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 Hold HLD. Oh, you can even turn your camera on with this program. There's a cam button.
Yeah, you can take screenshots.
XP NDR button.
I forgot what that one did.
Expand? I don't know what that. There's an ARM button. ARM.
I just don't use that program much to know some of these buttons.
I mean, I don't mind the program. It's not that bad. I mean, unless you're flying a jet, then yeah, I can see I could get.
Next waypoint
frustrated,
BNA selected.
Well, okay, not all jets it's bad, but like CRJs it does okay, but like when you get into the bigger ones like the Airbuses, your 737s, that's when it starts acting dumb.
Yeah, that's when I'll go to my regular sim and fly with
Yeah,
fly
exactly.
with that. But, I mean, I can fly the you know, these prop planes without pretty much just openly fly them and not even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I use the I use the program, but just to, you know, take off.
Yeah.
And I would honestly, if someone's just starting out, I would point them to this program before I would just throwing them in, prepare, and.
No, I agree.
There's a lot that, a lot of stuff that you got to pick up. Not that it's not doable, because it is, but.
That's funny you said that. I said the exact same thing to you when you first started, and then like 2 days later you're like, oh, I'm going to learn tramp. I'm done with this. I'm just not going to do this anymore.
Yeah, I was just ready to, I was ready to, I was just ready
but
to
I
learn.
still say you kind of wound up me and Josh with Bat Sim. That's just embarrassing.
Wait, what?
Hey, at least I motivated
Dude.
you guys. I mean,
He did. I gotta say that. No, dude, no, it's embarrassing, Josh. Because like you and I have been simming for 3+ years. We didn't touch Bat Sim, and then he touches it like not even a week after he starts.
well, but
Dude,
think though, it makes it
You
difficult.
guys got way more hours than I do, so I mean, both of you guys went on me. So
When
I
you
just
got
don't-
more people doing it though, it motivates you more to do it. But if it's just one person or two,
Yeah,
you're
well,
not going to be as motivated to do it.
plus when you hear all the stories about how Bat Sim treated us in the past, it's like, do you really want to do it?
Yeah, I really didn't worry
I've
about
heard,
it. I mean,
I've heard so
I've
many
got
stories
some
about.
nasty controllers, but dude, you just got to tell them sometimes. Seriously,
Oh, and I do.
don't just because we're a BVI pilot doesn't mean that they can just yell at us or treat us the way they want. We're no different than anybody else.
Oh, I
So-
reported a controller out of Dallas, and I bet you the one that you got that was having the audio problems, that sounded like the same guy I reported for snapping at me for not doing a heading change quick enough.
Well,
And if that's the case, and if
I
he's
mean-
like that with me again, I'll report him again, and I'll get a supervisor this time.
he needs to give you enough time to freaking, tab up to your heading box and put it in.
That's what happened. He didn't do that. He was like, I need you to change headings now. And I was like, and he knew I had software. You know how Tramp likes to
How long
lag,
did-
especially during the most...
How long did it take you to get the heading put in?
Wasn't that long, but the problem was with me trying to get to the edit box to put it in because of Tramp's lagginess. But yeah, I don't know if Batsim dealt with him or not, but I know when I reported him, they sent me an email and said that's unacceptable. We want you guys to fly with us, and we need to work with you guys.
That's what I say. I'm not telling anybody out there to be rude back to someone if they're being mean to you, but
No,
just don't tolerate being treated like.
don't
You
be.
know.
Yeah, don't tolerate being pushed around. If you get
Just
pushed
tell them,
around,
you just be straight with them and just tell them I'd appreciate if you wouldn't be nasty with me about it. I'm no different than anybody else, so I need you to work with me here, or I can
yeah,
just
it's not
report
that we
you.
don't want to follow the instruction.
That's what you tell them. You either work with me or I can report you. It's up to you.
Well, luckily I haven't had too many of those experiences, thank goodness.
I didn't really have any problem telling that guy that night. I just, with the way things were going, he was in agreement when I told him that I was going to go ahead and disconnect because he had a different layout for me and I couldn't hear him. So,
In all honesty, though, if you want my honest opinion about that whole thing, if he had several pilots telling him the same thing, he should have said, okay, I'm going to disconnect until I can sort out my audio, then I'll come back.
I wish he would have just let me, fly what was on my plan anyways, do the stars that I already had.
He probably couldn't because of traffic, because DFW, as you know, is a very busy airport.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think he was just
So
wanting
I'm
to vector me away from it for, a short time and then I'd go back to it.
Yeah, because it was probably traffic he wanted you to go around. That's why he was trying to vector you.
Yeah.
But I don't like when they vector you away from stars either. It really annoys me when they do that. It's like,
but he wanted me to go.
Especially when you're
not
that
only
close.
change my heading.
Well, I
but,
think it's due to traffic. It's probably what it is.
Well, he
Either that
he
or
also
weather.
wanted me to change my altitude, and I was still well above 12,000. I was at like 13,000. He wanted me to go to a heading of I think it was like 180 or 185, something like that, and go down to 6,000, which I was already descending anyway, so that wouldn't have been a big deal, but I could not hear him. I just could not.
Yeah, I've had a few like that. I actually had one in Canada where I couldn't understand them because their accent was so thick.
Yeah, some of them have pretty strong accents.
Speaking of which,
Let's
I
see
need
where
to
we're
do a
at, you
practice
guys.
run
We are
tomorrow.
What did you say,
Leakfield,
Ben?
Kentucky.
I said I need to do a practice run tomorrow.
Okay, Google. How far is Atlanta, Georgia from Leakfield, Kentucky? No, I didn't say that. Okay, Google. How far is Atlanta, Georgia from Leakfield, Kentucky? Okay, so 355 miles.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be less than probably about maybe 40 minutes. I know 500 miles is about an hour and a half flight. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess within the hour we'll be landing. I can't give nobody no scenery tonight. It's it's dark out again.
You know, we seem to fly at all the strangest times when it's dark and there's really nothing to see.
Well, on takeoff, I gave them some nasty looking clouds they could see, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited despite some questioning my motive to have extra sounds to get
You know, it's cool though
environment
because
sounds.
if you got your sim set with the settings turned on, like you know, you're flying in a big city, you actually can see the lights and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. I'm gonna do a flight again because it's Vegas is a good one to come into at night with all the lights, all the Vegas lights.
Yep.
And the sim
Yep.
actually simulates that. So that is really cool that it does that. I'm gonna do that probably in a regular jet though. I don't know. I might do it. With the. I kind of like this airplane.
I would do it with a regular jet for Vegas.
It depends if I'm gonna do online with that sim. I'll do a regular jet. But if I end up doing it offline, I can fly with this guy.
Yeah, speaking of which, for those who don't know out there are going to be some rule changes on VATSIM coming up on August 18th.
Yeah. Anybody that's new, and from my understanding, it's also got to do with Microsoft. They are going to have you take a test. And don't worry, it's not going to be something so hard to where, you know, they're testing you like as hard as what they would with, you know, your real pilots out there. Like, it's not going to be so hard where you can't do it. I think some common knowledge is going to be the thing they want you to have, and they want to make sure that, one, they want to keep out the trolls and the immaturity. Because no one's got time for that.
Exactly.
I've been lucky to where I've not had to deal with anybody acting like that when I'm trying to land or take off, but
I have.
you know, I think that's why they're, one of the reasons. Like I said,
I
the other
literally
reasons
had
got
to
to do with
wait.
Microsoft, so I don't know the full detail on that, but I was hearing someone talk
No, I
about
mean,
it.
I think they're doing this because they know that the new flight sim is going to bring in a lot of freaking people who are just going to be disruptive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to say thanks to Asobo for rushing this out, by the way.
What is it?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Asobo.
I really hope that they can do something to quell the backfiring that's going to happen on the 18th. Cause
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
Do something about what? The backfiring from what?
That's going to happen on the 18th when people find out that the sim isn't ready.
Oh. Is it not going to be ready? They're not ready to...
Well,
Apparently, from what people have said, it doesn't look finished.
yeah.
And
I
the
don't
weather
know
engine's
why
messed
they...
up.
why they hurried up to get it out so fast.
I honestly don't either.
But it does. There's no reason for people to act immature about it and throw a fit. You know, if it's not ready, it's not ready, and that's it. That's it. That's people need to be adults about it. Don't be a baby about it. There's still other sims that you can use until it comes out. I promise you, you're not going to go into, you're not going to have a heart attack or a stroke or, none of that. I mean, you will survive, I promise.
I will say this, that we're going to see a lot, because, there's, kids that are like, oh, what do we got to do to get into streaming? Because when Flight Sim 2020 comes out, we're streaming, there's going to be a lot of Twitch streamers streaming flights on the 18th.
Well, I agree with what Declan said earlier today in WhatsApp, because we were talking about, the different sounds and all that. It is disappointing that we have to do a lot more work to make Prepare sound as good as FS 2020.
Yeah.
Where we can. It is disappointing. But since we can't use FS 2020 right now, this is our next best thing.
I wonder what Robert Kinjet, because I know he's a journalist and stuff, I wonder if he has access to these things. He keeps hinting at, I wonder when other companies are going to have the Last of Us 2 moment. What he means by that is total blind accessibility, total, motor impairment, all this stuff. All the stuff that Last of Us 2 did. He's like, oh yeah, I think Microsoft is going to be very soon with that. It's going to be very soon. I doubt it. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be with Flight Simulator.
It's definitely not going to be with Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
It might be like Halo Infinite, perhaps.
Yeah, Halo might be their moonshot, but Flight Simulator, no, not going to happen.
Which, I mean, if that's the case, I'm looking at, if Halo Infinite turns out to be accessible, I'm definitely going to be playing that.
I'm hoping it does. But I'm not going to hold my breath and say, oh, it's going to, because...
Yeah.
We just, and I'm sorry to say, we just don't have enough people out there like Brandon Cole really promoting mainstream game accessibility and how it can change the landscape for us.
Dude, apparently freaking Greg Stilson bought freaking Last of Us.
Outside temperature is minus 4.6 degrees Celsius.
Okay, that's somebody who I never thought would do that.
Yeah, I know, I'm like, what? That's...
The same person who touches things and things go downhill. I never thought of that. I never thought I would see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised though. He is working at APH with John, so
Actually,
There you go.
Is he? No, I think he left APH.
What I
Something.
heard, I need to ask John again, but he told me that
Okay.
Greg Stilson was working for APH.
Oh, okay, he's still okay. Because I heard like a month ago that he left. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Why you fucking job hopping, dude?
I'm telling you, everything that man touches goes to pieces. Look at what happened with Thyra.
Well, yeah, that was a
That was a
failure way
failed
back.
release that he did. And I didn't like in the end, like when they were marketing those glasses to new explorers, they're just like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna have to pay for the glasses on top of your plan. I'm like, yeah, screw new explorers out of that, why don't you? See how well that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Samsung,
not gonna work.
Samsung have actually screwed them anyway. Like that's
Yeah.
ultimately why they
Well,
had
you
to
know,
go.
my opinion about it still stands. They should have done a lot harder research
Yeah,
before releasing that product.
They should have spent the, well, would have made them. They would have had to, spend a hell of a lot more money, but they should have hired an
I didn't
in-house
mind the
firm.
Austria glasses so much. Yeah, they look kind of weird, but
I don't know. I didn't really like. I didn't really like those. Like, I didn't really like how they felt on my face. I liked the other ones how they felt on my face, but I didn't like the wire. So there's a
see, that's the drawback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the wire was a dumb design. I even said it from the very beginning. I said, this is a stupid design.
Yeah.
Let's see where we are, folks. Yeah, we're getting there. We're flying over Franklin right now. This was the whole route that I did without any maps, GPS, or anything when I did the flight from Indianapolis all the way down to I think I went to Miami, and then I went over to Texas, came back up through Texas, cut back over into North Carolina, and then back up into Indiana. And I did that all just by
Oh,
memory
God, what the fuck
of
happened
flying
to
with
that?
George.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at him, but every time he comes on, there's always something that happens.
Oh shit.
What problem did he have this time?
Apparently, he was
He was
descending
at
to
20
the
he was
airport,
at
and his autopilot
24,000.
goes off.
He was at 24,000 feet and his autopilot goes off.
All right, folks, we just came into Portland, Tennessee. So we've probably got about 25 minutes left, and we'll be coming down to land. Now, do you know, will this automatically, or do I got to tell it when to land, or will it just do it?
No, it'll automatically land.
It will automatically do it, but make sure you descend to a reasonable altitude, otherwise you will dive bomb. Like, go descend about, like, start your descent about 80 miles out, because you need to be like a 50 or so miles out, before, because it'll start landing about 50 miles out, 30 miles out. So descend to, like, I don't know, 10,000, 5,000, something like that, so it won't dive.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it down here a little bit, probably from 11 to about 5,000.
I'm
That way
telling
when
you
I-
guys, every
When I
time.
Okay,
come in-
okay, maybe, 11,000 isn't so bad. It's not gonna dive but like,
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
only at
like, I don't know,
11,000.
35,000, if you're at like 35,000, you have to slowly descend it so that when you're 50 miles out,
Oh, yeah.
It's not
No,
gonna dive.
I'm only at 11,000.
He's only at 11,000.
oh, okay,
I don't
it's
even
not
think,
gonna
I
be-
don't think this Cessna go up to 35. I think it goes to like 25.
No, it only goes to 20.
I'm
25.
telling you guys, every time he has something to say, I swear I could write a book on the problems he has.
Oh, I really hope. Was he on VATSIM when this happened?
Probably, knowing him. Yes, he was, actually.
Oh shit! Yeah, he did say. I did see the stream. He was on VATSIM. I saw the stream title.
He was on VATSIM when this happened?
Yes.
There's got to be something he did for that to happen. Like,
I don't know what in the hell he does. Like, I honestly,
I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything. There's a lot of things I could say, but I'm not going to. Because
well, I mean, we don't know. That's the thing. We really don't.
We gotta go listen to his stream to see what he did, if anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes Tramp sometimes Tramp will do that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not at that high altitude, but it will do it.
I've never had it turn off at 24,000.
And if the autopilot turned off, just turn it back on.
If Tramp turns it off with Fly Plan and everything, like you're at the end of your plan, it's
your SOL.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it just shuts off and you're still.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Tramp automatically shut it off, thinking as he was at the end of his plan.
Yeah, it shut everything off. It didn't just shut autopilot off.
Yeah, it shut off autopilot and Fly Plan, and when Fly Plan goes off, well, when that sequence happens, the autopilot goes off.
I wonder if he's got his stuff
up
to date. His Eric cycle.
It all depends. Like,
yeah.
If he may have forgot to, like, he was getting maybe vectored, and he forgot to, like, recheck Fly Plan or like recheck the heading box so Tramp take control back. He forgot to do that probably, and Tramp just kept going at the same heading, just kept descending, and then it shut off. Because I've done that before.
By the way, for those out there who don't have it, I highly recommend the RAW's runway awareness system.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
That is an awesome program.
I like it. I did a few videos.
Except when it says that you're approaching runway 30 at Los Angeles, and you're 7 feet from the center, or you land in water anyway.
Something's wrong with that. That tells me that runway has to be short then.
Yeah, it's short as hell, dude. Like I don't know why.
I don't know why it even gives you that runway, considering if it's a short runway.
SimBrief gave me that runway in a jet, so yeah.
I don't like short runway landings. I really don't.
I mean, I do. I'm okay with them in the proper aircraft.
Toronto's a short runway landing too.
Well, in the proper aircraft, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with them. But if you're landing a jet on a freaking 3,000-foot runway, it's just not happening.
I think what I would do if I have trouble like that, I would try to remember what runway it is and just reassign my runway to a different one or something.
Yeah, but if a controller gives it to you, you have
well,
to,
yeah, then that's a different story. You got to follow it. That's when you fly in with you fly in there with the ski plane.
Yeah, exactly.
The seaplane.
I'm gonna do an Austin to Indianapolis run tomorrow.
From where?
Austin to Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
Next waypoint noob selected.
I'll tell you, you can definitely tell when you're getting crosswinds in this Cessna.
Oh, I'll bet.
It gets bumpy. I flew through a cloud yesterday, and the first 3 or 4 that I went through was really, just a fluffy, smooth cloud. But
yeah,
I went through this other cloud, and visually it didn't look that bad. So like I purposely intended on going through that cloud. Like I was even in manual, and I turned my plane right toward it. I wanted to fly through it and see what it was like. Yeah, I won't do that again. That was a rough fucking ride, dude. Pardon my French, people.
Was it
but that was a rough ride.
Was it a storm cloud?
No, it was just rough. Like all the way through it was like it sounded like a bunch of flapping, like where it was so rough. It's like all the way through it, dude. It was rough. Like it was a bumpy cloud.
Holy crap! Wow.
It's cool flying through them, though. It's cool that the simulator can simulate that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I've
I've had clouds where the engines really struggle because of winds.
I have been through a storm cloud before, not on
Oh, are
purpose.
you kidding me?
What?
There's fucking Me Too movement bullshit accusations against Joey Armstrong and fucking of Green Day and shit.
Are you? Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
Getting to the point where I'm getting really tired of this Me Too movement crap. It's getting on my nerves.
Altitude
Yeah,
set to 8,000
Joey
feet.
Armstrong, the drummer,
We're
and then
gonna
there's
bring
Billy
this
Joe
down, you
Armstrong.
guys, to 8,000. I don't know if you got to set your vertical when you change your altitude, or if it does it automatically.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, so far it's not doing it. It says 0 feet per minute. Maybe it takes a minute. Well, it's going down to 8,000, but it's not telling me what my vertical is.
And it won't.
Oh, no, it ain't. It's not going down. So let's try this. What, set climb to what, like minus 400 or something?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Climb
dude,
rate set to
it's
minus
not Green Day,
400 feet per minute.
It's swimmers who, Joey Armstrong is the drummer, is Billy Joe's son. That's who's getting.
Wow. By the way, Josh, I don't know if you heard, but a congressperson from my state is COVID positive.
There's a, I heard that, and there's a.
And I have no sympathy for the guy. Serves him right.
There's a freaking. Why?
Because he's stupid.
I mean, he probably wore his mask and shit. So,
No, he didn't. He didn't wear his
Right.
mask, and then he wants to blame wearing it on getting the virus. Of course he'd
Oh.
be stupid. His name is Gomer, so there you go.
But yeah, no, apparently there's a,
Next waypoint Ehave selected.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple, there's a, like, prominent New Jerseyans apparently that have positive.
I know it's not Cory Booker.
Uh,
I do love this flying, man. This is fun.
That's awesome. Speaking of flying, I wanted to let you know there's a launch in the morning to Mars. The Mars rover is launching at 7:50 Eastern.
oh, really? Oh, okay. I'll try to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
wake Alexa. Wake me up at 6:45 in the morning.
What is the launch? What is it?
Mars rover.
To bring
Alexa.
to or
delete my
from?
alarm. 2. Alexa. Wake me up at 6:30 in the morning.
Actually, dude, you could have just said wake me up at 6:30 and it would just know AM because.
No, because it doesn't know that it says AM or PM.
Oh, like Google, you can, like you say.
I know.
If I said wake me up at 6:30, it would just, oh, okay, well, it's
You forget.
past 6:30 p.m., so.
The
I'll just
Echo's
wake up
dumb. The Google's smarter than the Echo.
I just say, yeah, Google. You can just tell it. And even my phone, I can tell my phone. You know.
I really wish he would get off that group. I can't stand him. You know, Mr. Graphic Audio Collector.
Yeah.
Tell Josh I want a Dropbox. No. Not going to.
Climb rate set to minus 200 feet per minute. Next waypoint Theo selected.
So I put in my altitude to come down to 8,000. I'm curious. It must go by ASL because my AGL is under 8,000. My ASL is at 8933.
Alexa, delete my alarm. Alexa, wake me up at 5:55. Holy crap, it actually remembers. It's actually smart. I can't believe it.
I figured
It actually improved.
We've got a nice descent here going down to 8,000. I'm actually going at a steady 220 knots. That's why I like
Awesome.
to uncheck that speed box because you can, you know, with the throttle, you can control it a little bit better. About 700 more feet and we'll be at 8,000.